Hey there, this is Ragnon, and this is my walkthrough on One-Armed Bandit, Mythic difficulty for Resto Druid. Just like my other walkthroughs, again, this is from a healer POV, specifically Resto Druid. So this is not a full guide. I'm going to be skimming over things that are not part of the healer role. So if you're a tank or a DPS, or even a melee healer, this may not be as helpful as I would like. But so here's on pull, just some general rules. You want to be stacked with the ranged as much as possible in this back half of this circle. There are some moments where I step forward, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So here, before the pull starts, I am not assigned the first ramp. I don't ramp until 38 seconds. The first one in our group is covered by the Disc Priest, so I'm actually popping Heart of the Wild, and I'm just spamming DPS for the first like 30 seconds of this fight. I do greed a little bit, and I put some rejuves out, and then a life bloom, and then I swift min so that I can hit a wild growth for the first packet of damage. But outside of that, it's all just DPS. So here, pull, just popping Heart of the Wild, damaging. This weak aura right here, this red one in the middle of my screen, that's from Painsmith. I think it's called Where's My Character or something like that. Just gonna make sure I saw something, just making sure that I wasn't getting pinged or something. And that shows where your character is. You want to make sure that you are fully outside of the blue. I would give it a little bit more wiggle room. If you're positioned in advance, it's actually a lot more graceful. There's a lot more grace than you might think. A general rule for coins, until you get really comfortable with them, is you want to always position in advance. Don't ever chase it to try to catch the buff. You'll miss it. You have to be there while it rolls past you. These ones that come from the boss are very easy to dodge. It's these ones that come from the back of the room that you really have to watch out for. So I'll talk about that as we go, because that's pretty important. So here's still damaging. Anytime there are these ads that are out, you want to make sure that you are paying attention. And also for the very first one, I like to cheat up a little bit. And so here he's going to cast it. I believe he casts it into the middle first. I want to be prepared just in case, because the coin's like right here underneath my raid frames, and then here's my weak aura, and then it's me. So there's like no warning. So you want to cheat up a little bit. So here he calls that he's doing the coin. I scoot up a little bit so that I have some more time to react. There it comes. It was actually to the side there, so that worked out. I was not close enough to get the buff, unfortunately. I did break my own rule and chase there, and I didn't get the buff anyways. So here we're ramping. These ones that come from the boss, again, are pretty easy to dodge. So ramping.
Rear coin. Tranquility in 11.
Okay, here, this pylon. So clicking anywhere on your screen is hard banned when this pylon's going on. I don't believe you can click it while it's sucking, but at any other moment you want to be away from the pylon, because if you right click on the pylon, it will kill you if you are not the tank, which you're not. So don't stay away from it. Right, like this moment, even right now, I was just paranoid and I just didn't click. I just always make sure that I move away, even to move my camera, because I only died to it once, but it caused an entire wipe, and I don't like doing that. So so here's where my tranquility is. You want to make sure that you wild growth beforehand, just so you can get the cooldown back. Also, one thing about that tranquility is at that moment, there might be flame waves returning. Also, the coin circles are appearing. So you want to make sure to watch for the coin circles and then do a quick scan for any flame waves before you tranquility, because it's very painful to have that canceled, because it screws up your cooldown reduction, and then all of the rest of your ramps for the entire fight are pretty toast. So take an extra second, look, make sure you can stand still, and then cast it. Also, all this is just from my point of view and my perspective and what I learned from doing the fight. So if you have different ramp timings or whatever, or maybe you're smarter than me with you know, being able to dodge fast, then take everything that I say with a grain of salt. So you can always watch for these coins. You can see the ads that are being focused. They have that little glowy frame around them. You can use that to position further up in the room to get ready for a coin. Here, this is the ad. This is the first real tricky moment of the fight, coordination-wise. So most of the time we're over here on this X side, but there are some times we're over here on the pylon side, and it sucks. That's the annoying side, and hopefully you don't get that very often. But right here we're on the boss side, and these fixates are coming out. What you want to do is wait for the coin to go, get the buff if you can, and then I stampeding roar as soon as the coin rolls past and we get the buff. And then here you want to stay stacked with the group. There are flames you have to dodge pretty often. So right here where we roar, we're staying stacked. Now this is something that killed us early. There's coins often right behind you, and sometimes there will be even one right here if it was baited poorly. And so you have to move, dodge this one, and then wait, and then go once this coin goes away. If they're closer and they weren't slowed, well, they can't be slowed. If I don't think the set can. They can't be hard CC'd. That's the only set that can't. If they are too close to you, then you can dip in between sometimes. The point is, do not let these bombs touch you. If they touch anybody, it's essentially a raid wipe. So here we move. We got lucky. There was only one coin. It was an easy dodge. If you're the one that's fixated, you need to keep moving. These lightning drops, they happen anytime there's a tank hit, and unfortunately there's no way to signal that it's on you. So one thing that I watched for is if your screen grows, kind of like it's Bloodlust, then it's on you. And then also if you see it and it's a big clump of players and you see a circle and you're just not sure, jiggle your character a little bit with A and D or whatever, and just double check that it's not you, because dropping that in the raid is very, very bad. I usually reserve Tiger's Lust for running those out or running flames out. It's when you get those back to back and you don't have a movement that it kind of stinks. You can also use the gate if you have those set up. That's what they're for. So here, dodging more coins, staying positioned centrally. We're going for our next ramp. One thing I haven't mentioned yet are the dispels. I was lowest priority for the dispels, so I often didn't get it. I don't think I actually got any in this one. But what it will do is it will highlight there when somebody, let's say that's on Donut, if Donut got the flames and I was assigned to dispel him, his raid frame would be red. And then when he runs out and presses the liquid macro, it will then glow green, and that's when I dispel. A couple things to watch out for is we had some problems with the dispel wheat core not working at all, and there were a couple problems that were causing that. So one problem was we were having the note not be pushed and out correctly, so repushing the note fixed it oftentimes. And the other problem was we had a fourth healer in the raid, but he was not obviously in the raid. He was just in the raid group sitting in like Dornagal or something, and that actually screwed it up because it was assigning dispels to him, we think. So as soon as we kicked him out of the group, it started working again. So check those two things if your dispel weak core is not working, and then obviously make sure that everything's up to date. Again, here these coins that are coming from the boss are easy to dodge his range. It's the one that's from behind. So you can see right here, there is one that was right behind me. I'm going to need to watch that. So here it is. He's going to shoot it this way. There it is. So if you have the mental capacity, especially after many pulls, to start keeping track of the positioning of the coins and where the ads spawn, that will help you a lot. Also zooming out as far as you can will help a lot. So there's a dispel. So you can see I'm hovering over Dan, I'm healing him, waiting. There he presses it, so I went ahead and dispelled. And that was a very greedy positioning. He dropped it right here on the edge. That was not good. He needed to run it all the way out to the outside. So that's going to cause difficulty with the flames. Greedy positioning. So this is the big heal check at 330-ish, but our other healers are popping huge cooldowns there, so mine's not really helpful. It's really for this moment right here, this follow-up healing absorb, that my cooldowns are still rolling. Help.
Rear coin.
Fishing for the buff, I did get that. But again, early in progression, I would recommend not doing that. I would recommend positioning in advance. And if you're not there, then don't try to go for it, because sometimes if you have movement speed that you're not expecting or something, you can just step into it, and that's way worse than just not getting the buff.
Convoke the spirits in 7. Rear coin. Coin.
One other thing I haven't mentioned is I recommend keeping your eyes on your character as much as possible. I haven't watched back this replay yet, but I guarantee you there are some bad overlaps on Rejuve, because most of the time I'm not even looking at the raid frames, I'm just clicking randomly, because it's the times when I divert my attention from my character. Maybe I'm just old, but it's the times where I divert my attention from my character that I cause problems with mechanics. So I recommend, at the cost of, you know, playing perfectly, if you are, you know, human like me, then I have to keep my eyes on my character to dodge everything that there is in this fight. And then at the cost of probably a slightly inefficient ramp. But okay, this is phasing into phase 2. So this is where the entire raid, most of the time, was over here on purple, but there are times when we position on the other side as well, but the ideal side is right here. Something else I forgot to mention is after the very first set of ads, you can drop the lightning on either side, but up until that point, we're always dropping the lightning over to the left side against the back wall. And then after the first set of ads-ish, that's when you can start spreading it and start dropping it on either side. And then about halfway through the fight or so, you'll want to only drop them on the right side, because pools here on the left side just make life difficult here for phase 2, or impossible. So you want to keep this left side clear from about the half point of the raid on. I don't have an exact number off the top of my head, I just kind of felt it, or it was called. So here, dodging, this phase right here is all about positioning, because it is very tight, it's very claustrophobic. So here I have a ramp coming up. I'm a little bit behind on my convoke timer, but I'll get it out eventually, which it'll actually line up better with the heal absorb, so it works out. So right here, as soon as he phases at 30%, it stops mechanics. And so here I start ramping actually for this next heal absorb. So right here, you want to be pixel stacked on, in this case, it's our raid leader, Iced Out. He has a star over his head. We're staying pixel stacked here, and the tanks are doing some pylon droppy stuff, and we want to make sure that we are not in between the beam and the boss. So here we're trying to stay stacked. There's the pylon, and now we're starting to move back behind it so that we're not getting hit by that beam. If you get hit by any of these beams right here, it's a one-shot, you die. So the reason this phase is so claustrophobic and hectic is because you have to dodge the fire, you have to make sure that you are not in between the boss and the beams. You got to be repositioning your camera so you can get Ursols on these dynamites and stuff like that. You have to make sure that you're dodging the coins, and now suddenly you have to dodge it like you're a melee. So if that's not something that you're used to, that can catch you off guard for a few pulls. And then one other thing, if you get the lightning, you have to suppress your normal habit of running it to the back of the room, and especially running it to the right back. That will completely screw everything up. Instead, you have to go against your gut, against the habit that you've built the entire fight, and instead you have to drop the lightning up here to the top left where we've already been, or here to the side left. The point is, we are going in a counterclockwise circle around the room, and we want to make sure that there's nothing ever behind us. You always want to drop it over to the side. I think there's one coming up here soon that you can see. So here we're dodging. I finished my ramp. Dodging these coins, watching flames. Here comes the big hit. These lightning circles are going to run out and to the side. They did a great job with that, giving us lots of room. Here's the next pylon. And the next pylon. So there's all the pylons. There's two here, there's one up there. I think that was supposed to be dropped differently, but I'm not sure. Point is, don't be between the boss and the pylons, and it's salvageable.
Rear coin. Rear coin.
So you're dodging fire.
Invoke the spirits in 11.
Not gonna hit this convoke timer. That pylon's gonna knock us. And right here, I step out. I believe it's here. I step out and I try to get an Ursel on those dynamites because I can't see. That balcony's in my way for my line of sight. And so I step out and I get hit by that fire like an idiot. And then I res. I drop the Ursels. I got it off. Try to get some healing in. At this point, it's just burn or die. So I'm an idiot and I run in between the beam there, but I survived just because I'm in bear. Tunneling on the kill. I tried to get this res on Sky side. And I think I got pulled in. I got knocked into the beam. Yeah. So there at the end, it's hectic, but the same rules apply. Dodge the fire, run the lightning out. In this case, run it off to the left side, and watch the beams. That's a new thing. And then Ursul's the adds away from the raid when you can. That way they can stay focused on the boss and get the kill there. All right, there's probably some stuff I'm missing. If you have any questions about this hectic, terrible fight, please let me know. It will probably be a lot more fun on Reclair, but for healers, it is definitely very stressful because you have to heal. It's a very heal-intensive fight, and you have to underheal it. And you have all the same mechanics as everybody else, and so it can be difficult, especially if you're used to keeping your eyes more on your raid frames. I personally had to just kind of randomly click and really focus and tunnel on keeping myself alive by dodging mechanics. So, all right, hope that was helpful. Enjoy One-Armed Bandit, and I'll probably put it on an announcement or something, but as it is right now, I am not in for Mugsy and Gallywix, and that's because we are right on the cusp of having the baby, and I've got concerts, and we are moving states and end of the school year stuff, and so a lot of stuff going on in my life right now, and so I'm not wanting to cause any problems on the last couple bosses, and I'm thankful that the other healers are getting a chance to get in and get on the kills that are the most important. So I likely won't have guides for those two, but I will, if that changes, then I will post them. So thanks for watching. Have a good one on One-Armed Bandit.